Suicide Squad from Rocksteady Games, guys, is obviously the newest, game coming from Rocksteady. And after watching the trailer that came out from DC Fandom, I gotta say, I'm incredibly excited about this title. Number one, guys, there are a ton of reasons to, love the trailer, but it also, they're kind of giving some kudos to the past projects that they worked on. Definitely looks similar to, the Batman Arkham series in certain ways. To me, though, Suicide Squad actually looks a little bit brighter than of course, the Arkham series did, which was very dark, dreary, and such. Now, look, maybe they were just showing us, a sequence, which is obvious from the trailer, but very bright, colorful. I like the concept of it. I love the dialogue between the characters. There's a lot of things to love, guys, even the surprises, especially at the end of the trailer. But we'll get to that here in a sec. I want to, though, in this segment of the show, guys, talk about the top 5 things that we want in Suicide Squad coming from Rocksteady Games. So with that, guys, coming in at number 1, for me, guys, is I really want Rocksteady to surprise us. And I gotta say, from the trailer alone, there were some significant surprises to me. Number 1 was the dialogue. The dialogue between the Suicide Squad characters was great. I loved the dialogue, the kind of, the different kinds of humor that they had throughout the course of it, the back and forths. I loved that there's like there's gonna be this dedication almost to creating these characters and making them more of a, feel more human almost to all of us, and just the way that they talk to one another and such. There's something that's special about that. Even though they're super villains, there's still those opportunities to create some humor in there. And I loved that concept because they're giving us this tone that, yes, this is a serious game. Yes, there's going to be dark elements to this, but there's also those bright elements as well, which I really like about what we saw there. But overall, I just want to be surprised. At the end of the trailer, we saw Superman and everything that kind of transpired with that. That was a very interesting, scene at the very end, and all of the members of the Suicide Squad were very shocked when they saw that he ended up, killing that guy that he was holding, he had just previously saved. So at the end of the day, I gotta say, I love where they're going with this. Continue surprising us, Rocksteady. That's like my number 1 thing that I want to see out of Suicide Squad. Coming in, guys, at number 2. I really want them, even though I want them to change things, we want changes from like the Arkham series. I also want them, though, to kind of keep the formula that made the Batman Arkham series so special. And so when we talk about Batman, the Arkham series, we're talking about like the stealth elements, the fluid action that would happen within the course of the story. And I think that's a really special thing that we have to look at here when it comes to Suicide Squad. I want Rocksteady, sure, this is separate from the Batman Arkham series. It's going to, be in the same universe, I'm assuming. However they decide to do that, we'll have to kind of wait and see. If Batman shows up at some point or another, I'm assuming he will. But we got Superman, which is awesome. And I just want them, though, to have certain, tones and such. Even though this is not a Batman Arkham game, we definitely want there to have this feeling of that fluidity in combat, stealth. The teamwork, obviously, is going to be a big thing here with Suicide Squad. And we know some of the pros and cons to what, Marvel did with the Marvel Avengers game. I definitely want there to be differences here with how they utilize each of the characters in the Suicide Squad. And so we'll definitely be finding out more information about all that as time goes. But keep some of the formula that's worked from the Batman Arkham series, but you got to change things up as well. We understand that, and I'm excited to see what those changes might be, but don't forget where you came from. And I'm sure Rocksteady is not going to do that. At number 3, guys, I've said this ad nauseum at this point on the YouTube channel. I get, a lot of times I'll get criticism, but I also get people who tell me that they agree. And so it's kind of, it's somewhat of a touchy subject, but I'm the type of gamer, guys, that likes a full package. And I want Suicide Squad to be a full package. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean a full campaign, multiplayer modes, and co-op modes. Multiple ways, guys, to connect with the franchise. So when you're done playing the story mode or done playing the campaign, you can play with your friends on some co-op missions, or you can play by yourself or with friends in a multiplayer setting, whether it's PvE where you're going up against, waves and waves of enemies, or you're going, together or by yourself playing PvP, playing against other people across the world. And I think that is one of the most important things about these AAA titles that every AAA title should be doing, is having a full package. Number one, it creates more reasons to pay the $60 price tag. Unless it's a free-to-play game, then you can do whatever. But if it's a $60 price tag, which I'm assuming Suicide Squad will be for for the consoles and things of that nature, I just think a full package makes total sense. And obviously having DLC come out every once in a while and such is great as well. But I really want to see Rocksteady make this a full package. I'm not saying, make it like a service or something similar to what they've done, Marvel's Avengers has done, but making it so that there's multiple ways you can connect with the franchise after you're done playing the campaign. And I think that's really important. Coming in, guys, for me, at number 4, one of the biggest things that I got from this trailer was obviously at the very end was Superman, right? What I would really like to see here is I want Suicide Squad to set up a Superman game. I want a standalone Superman game within the same universe, obviously, and I would love to see a Superman game. I think a lot of us have asked for it. We want Superman to have his own game, and we've gotten Batman from the Batman Arkham series, and who better to do this than Rocksteady? And I think Rocksteady using Suicide Squad to set up a Superman game where they can continue making Suicide Squad games, but they set up a Superman game, that would be something I would absolutely want for the future. I think Superman would do incredibly well. I would love to play as Superman and kind of take control of this character and just learn more story, even though we know the story of Superman, guys. It's like Batman. We know that story. Suicide Squad, some of us do know some of the characters. Some of us don't know any. Some of us know a few. But all I'm saying is that having, other games within this franchise that we can play as and kind of can helm, one of those definitely being Superman. I think that would be absolutely awesome. So set up a Superman game, Rocksteady. And coming in lastly at number 5. For me, guys, we've kind of alluded to it. We want, obviously, for Rocksteady to make this, there'd be those differences between this game and games like Marvel's Avengers, right? We want this to also have differences from, Batman, the Arkham series. But I really do want this open world setting. I really want an open world here. And they kind of imply that, yes, it looks like it's going to be at least semi-open world, but I would love to have an open world setting where you're able to explore and really just kind of explore all the different areas and such as these supervillains. Really kind of get into the mind of these supervillains and like kind of what they do and like, just kind of what's it like walking down the street as a supervillain? How do people react to you? And just things of that nature. I think it could be really cool. Now look, overall, we can look at the Batman Arkham series. You can basically say, yes, this is a linear experience overall with puzzles and things of that nature. But I think that there's nothing wrong with change in certain ways. And I think an open world, or at least a semi-open world setting for Suicide Squad would be really special. I think at games, guys, I always come back to Gears of War. Gears of War always has had this, linear experience. But then, the Coalition decided to go away from that slightly and go from a linear experience to a semi-open world in Gears 5. And I was very skeptical and kind of scared for the experience, but I absolutely loved it afterwards. And so all I'm getting at here is having an open world, whether it's semi-open world or full open world, would just give you that breathing room as the Suicide Squad, really give you kind of like thrust you into this game in a major way. And I think it could be something really special if they did that. Now, knowing Rocksteady, it probably won't be a full open world. Probably would be like maybe a semi-open world. Maybe they're planning on just making this a linear experience. It's hard to say, but I personally would love to just be able to explore, man. I mean, obviously not being in Gotham, wouldn't it be cool to explore any new places and new locations, environments and such? I think it'd be something special. But those are the top 5 things, guys, that I want to see in Suicide Squad, and I would love to hear the things that you want to see in this game as well. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's have a real conversation about it, and for more Suicide Squad content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.